You really thought I was alone. Now it's my turn. I'm standing by the kitchen sink, staring at the bright reflection of the overhead light in the window. It feels like a spot of fire burning on the glass. My heart's hammering. Bobo, our dog, keeps barking. Short, frantic yelps that echo in my ears. I don't know why he's barking like that. Usually, he's quiet. But tonight, he's pushing his snout against the base of our bed, going at it like there's something alive down there. I swallow once, then again. I feel my throat constrict. My hands grip the edges of the countertop. My nails dig into the wood, leaving crescent marks. For one split second, I imagine the sound of bone snapping. But that's just how my mind's spinning right now. You really thought I was alone. That was her line, drifting to me through the half-open bedroom door. No answer. Just more barking from Bobo. I edge closer. And there, under the bed, is something small, crinkled, transparent silver with a brand name etched across its surface. An empty condom wrapper. My mind can't process it. I blink, I swallow hard. The vasectomy. I had it 3 years ago. I remember the clinic, the smell of antiseptic, the nurse telling me to rest for a few days. We haven't used condoms since. We didn't need them. Suddenly, the taste of rust floods my mouth. I realize I'm biting the inside of my cheek so hard I've drawn blood. I step back. My breathing goes rapid, short, fast stabs of air. I'm trying not to make a sound. My hand is shaking. I see the crumpled foil, can't look away. My mind's in freefall. Bobo barks again, louder, pawing at the floor as if he's exposing the dirty secret that's always been there, right under my nose. I reach down, scoop up the wrapper. My heart is in my ears. I smell latex, or maybe it's just my imagination. It's stale, a faint chemical tang. My mind scrambles for rational explanations. Could it be old? No. We never had them in the house after my surgery. We decided not to. We laughed about it. Some silly joke about never needing those again. I force myself upright. My reflection in the bedroom mirror is a stranger's face. Eyes wide, pupils tiny. I feel the beginnings of a half-mad grin forming on my lips. A black, strangled laughter tries to bubble up from my chest. But I trap it. I want to burst in on them. I want to see if this filthy suspicion is real or if I've lost my mind. But I also can't stand the thought. My hand clenches around that wrapper. I slide it into the pocket of my pants, as though I need to keep it like evidence. Bobo keeps whimpering, turning circles by my feet. She's in the shower now, or so I assume. The bathroom door's closed, water running. Steam curls from beneath the door. I hear her faint singing. She does that sometimes, sings as if everything is normal, as if the world hasn't just flipped upside down. I set my jaw. Something's cracking inside my chest. The thought of bursting in, demanding an explanation, my pulse spikes. But the black humor rises again. I imagine me, stammering, pointing at the wrapper, and she'd just say, "Oh, it's nothing. I found it outside. Must be from some neighbor's trash." I can almost see her lying, as if my eyes aren't open. So I do nothing. I quietly leave the bedroom, Bobo trotting at my heels like he's expecting me to fix everything. I slip out the front door and stand on the porch, letting the night air slap my face. For a second, I'm choking. Then I calm down, like ice forming on still water. That same night, I say nothing at all. The next morning, I pretend to be half asleep when she leaves the bed. She says, "I've got errands," in a voice that's trying too hard to be casual. I grunt something back. After she's gone, I pull myself out of bed. I keep moving in a daze. Shower, shave, dress. Then I head to work. It's a busy day at the office, endless meetings. I'm new in the role of department manager, a promotion I got recently. Poured my life into that job. I wear the boss's face. I grin, pat shoulders, throw around jokes that keep morale high. Meanwhile, my brain is screaming. I see the condom wrapper flashing in my mind, like a strobe light in a dark room. People ask me questions, I answer automatically. It's mechanical. By lunch, my composure is fraying. I hide in the restroom, lock myself in a stall. My phone is in my hand, and I'm half tempted to call her. Demand an explanation. The black humor returns. Hello, honey. Found this on the floor. Should I just throw it out? I realize my hand is shaking so badly I nearly drop the phone. I do nothing. I go back to my desk. Work more, longer hours. Over the next weeks, maybe months, I bury myself in responsibilities. I volunteer for every new project. I initiate expansions in the region. I hold late-night conference calls. My boss praises my dedication, says I have leadership qualities. I smile at him like a puppet. All the while, I watch her quietly. We still share a bed, though half the time I sleep on the edge, clutching the blanket. We still have dinners, with the kids between us. We smile for selfies. I post pictures on social media with hashtags #blessed, #family first. The reflection of my own face, beaming with artificial delight, makes me sick. My coworker jokes that I'm a poster boy for the good life. Inside, I feel like my brain's been pinned to a red-hot stove. I look for signs, any sign. The flicker in her eyes when her phone vibrates. The sudden tension if I walk in while she's texting. The faint aroma of men's cologne that's not mine. Once I catch the smell on her blouse. She says it's from testing a fragrance at some store. I pretend to believe her. Days turn into nights. My sleeplessness grows. I start losing track of what's real. I'm on edge, snapping at the kids over minor things. Then I force myself to be cheerful, overcompensating. I can see the worry in their eyes, but I can't stop. My wife tries to talk to me sometimes, asks if something's wrong. I respond with half answers, distant shrugs, like she's no one to me. Because that's how it feels now. Like she's a stranger who just shares my house. And I wait. Because somewhere in the back of my mind, a plan is forming. I'm not entirely sure what shape it will take, but it's there. I wait for him. This so-called friend of the family. The buddy she invites over when I'm supposedly away on business trips. I keep track of his name. Anthony. People call him Tony. He's smooth, works for some hotel chain, travels a lot. The kids love him. They think he's just an old friend from out of state. I hate him with a clarity that feels like a blade pressed to my throat. We throw barbecues sometimes, invite neighbors. He's been there. He's the life of the party, chatting, smiling, telling jokes. My wife laughs. I notice the way she leans forward, touches his arm, how her eyes spark. The kids run around, squealing with delight, oblivious. I stand in the corner, cold and polite, offering him a beer. I want to smash the bottle over his head every time I see him. But I hold back. One night, after everyone has gone home, I approach her in the living room. She's picking up paper plates and crumbs from the coffee table. I just say, "So Tony's quite popular." She goes stiff. She looks at me like I've touched a nerve. Then she tries to laugh it off. "He's just a friend, you know that." I stare at her. I feel that black humor creeping in again, tasted in my mouth like poison. I nod, say nothing more. She tries to approach me later, in bed, tries to put her hand on my shoulder, as though to instigate intimacy. I let her. My body reacts mechanically, but all the while, a part of me is absent, hovering above, watching like a stranger. Her breathing is shallow, fast. Mine is slow, measured. When we finish, I roll away. She's lying there, quiet. I wonder if she's thinking about him. My heart clenches like a fist. Time slides forward, unstoppable. I keep working, keep piling on responsibilities. My colleagues joke I'm the unstoppable machine. Our logistics firm expands its reach, merges with another branch. I get put in charge. I travel to conferences. I become the boss in every sense. Powerful, commanding. I realize for the first time in my life, I enjoy that sense of pressing down on people. I never did before. But now, it's like a necessity, because it's the only way I can manage the uncontrollable rage swirling inside me. Meanwhile, I see the signs more clearly. The new set of lingerie in her drawer that I certainly never saw her wear for me. The sneaky texts that end abruptly when I walk by. The soft humming in the kitchen after she spent the afternoon visiting a friend. Bobo barks at random times when he hears the door, or maybe he senses that intruder's presence. Then I get the chance, a business trip to the East Coast. My boss specifically requests I attend. It's a week-long conference. I tell my wife in a flat voice, I'll be gone from Monday to Sunday. She raises her eyebrows, tries to look supportive, but there's a flicker of something else. Relief. Excitement. She says, "Okay, honey. I'll manage. Don't worry about anything here." She kisses my cheek. I wait. I tell her goodbye. I pack my suitcase, drive off early Monday morning. But I don't leave the city. Instead, I circle back and park near our house, hidden behind some trees. I slip inside later, using the back door. The kids are in school. She's out running errands. I set up in the small storeroom near the living room, where we keep old boxes and cleaning supplies. Bobo stares at me, tail wagging with curiosity. I hush him, pat his head. He sniffs, and seems to understand something is wrong. I wait for hours, cooped up in that cramped space, listening to my own pulse. Eventually, the front door opens. I hear footsteps. Hers, lighter and quick, and then heavier steps. A man's voice. The sweet, flirting giggle she does. The hush, the sudden embrace. I can't see them, but I can hear them. My mouth tastes like ash. Then I hear the rustle of clothes. A muffled moan. That's her voice. She's whispering something I can't make out, probably his name, Tony. My head pounds. My fists tighten. I try to keep my breath silent. My skin feels like it's on fire. I can't see the details, but the sounds are enough. The couch squeaks. Soft gasps fill the air. I imagine him on top of her. I imagine her hands gripping his shoulders, or maybe running through his hair. My stomach twists, a nauseated swirl of heartbreak and fury. My vision blurs. I bite my lip until I taste blood again. His husky whisper, "You sure he's gone?" Her breathless laugh. Completely. More rustling. More moans. A faster pace now. I want to tear through the door, but something inside me says, "Wait. Watch them burn." My face is soaked with sweat. My entire body's trembling. I think I might be having a panic attack, but a cold calm is also creeping in around the edges. Their sounds gradually fade into quiet murmurs. I hear them shift, probably draping themselves in blankets. Then a flurry of footsteps as they head to the bedroom. I inch out, silent as I can, peeking around the corner. I glimpse them crossing the hallway, arms around each other, his shirt half off, her hair disheveled. Her bare back glistens with sweat. She's wearing only a bra and slipping out of it as she closes the bedroom door. For a moment, the last thing I see is her eyes shining at him. And that's it. I slump back into the storeroom. My chest is heaving. My mouth is open, but no sound comes out. The sense of betrayal is so sharp I can't even cry. Instead, I feel a weird, mocking grin stretch across my face. That black humor again. Guess your vasectomy didn't matter, buddy. I wait, because I know they might come out again. My watch shows the minutes crawling by like hours. Eventually, I hear the shower. Then the laughter drifts from behind the bathroom door. I decide enough is enough. This can't go on. Something inside me snaps. I creep to the closet, pull out an old jacket, slip it on to hide the tension in my body. Then I slide into the kitchen, stand there behind the fridge. My breath is slow now, controlled. I feel more alive than I have in months. Finally, the bedroom door opens. They're both laughing in hushed tones, trying to keep quiet. I see him first, Tony, walking into the living room in his jeans, shirt unbuttoned. A smug grin on his face. She's behind him, wearing her robe. They look so relaxed, so satisfied. That's when I step out. "Hello, Tony," I say calmly, as though greeting him at a barbecue. He jerks around, eyes wide. She sucks in aghast, her hand flying to her mouth. Her face goes pale. I see the fear, the horror. He tries to speak, stammering something. She blurts out, "Oh my God. Oh my God. What are you doing here?" The tension in her voice is raw. I stare at them, letting the silence weigh in. Bobo must sense my fury, because he starts barking again from somewhere behind me. Tony looks at her, then at me. "Hey man, this is not what it looks like." He raises his hands in a placating gesture. She's trembling. I let out a short, humorless laugh. "Not what it looks like. I smell the soap on you too." My voice is tight. I barely recognize it. My gaze locks on him. He's the cause of this mess, but I also know she let him in. She's not innocent. None of us are. He tries to move closer to her, as if that might shield him. "Calm down. Let's just talk," he says. I didn't mean for this to happen." She's half hysterical. "John, please, you weren't supposed to be back. Supposed to be gone, right?" I murmur. The black humor. "I guess my flight got canceled." He glances at her, then at me. I see the sweat forming on his forehead. He's about my height, but he's shaking. "Man, I'm sorry," he mumbles. You can't do anything crazy. Think about your kids." He tries to sound rational. I just breathe. "You're right," I say quietly, stepping forward. "I am thinking about my kids." He moves toward her again. I see the fear in his eyes. He tries to grab her arm, like maybe they can face me together, or maybe he's using her as a shield. I can't tell. But that motion, him laying his hand on her in front of me, something about it ignites the rage I've been compressing for months. Everything becomes slow, like I'm watching from outside myself. I see my arm draw back. My fist tightens. I hear him say, "You're psycho, man," just as my fist connects with his jaw. It's a clean, hard impact. His head snaps back. He collapses in a heap, limbs slack, as if all the wires holding him up got cut at once. She screams, a raw, piercing sound. Bobo's barking escalates, frantic. I stand there, breathing fast. Tony doesn't move. He's sprawled on the floor, eyes half open but glassy. I stare at him for several seconds, waiting for him to twitch, to groan, to do something. He doesn't. A slow trickle of blood seeps from his nose. The air is thick. She crouches over him, shaking his shoulder. "Tony, Tony." She looks at me with raw terror, tears streaking her cheeks. "What did you do?" Her voice cracks. I can't form words. I'm paralyzed by the sudden realization that he's gone, just like that. My punch, fueled by months of hate, ended him. That black humor tries to rise again, but it's strangled by shock. Something inside me calms, in a horrifying way. The part of me that's always been in control says, "This is done. Now handle it." My wife is wailing. I look at her, my expression empty. The guilt doesn't come the way I expected. Instead, I feel an odd, detached sense of purpose. I get up, walk to the kids' rooms. They're at school, but I gather a few of their clothes anyway. She's following me, sobbing uncontrollably, rambling about calling an ambulance, the police. I ignore her. I carry a small bag to the car. Then I return, and calmly tell her, "Take a jacket. We're leaving." She's shaking her head wildly. "We have to call for help. He might still be alive." I glance at Tony's body. His chest isn't moving. I feel my jaw clench. I lower my voice. "He's not. Now get your things." She starts screaming. "What are you doing?" I grab her by the shoulders, fix her with a stare so cold it chills even me. I speak with a lethal calm. "There's nothing left to do here. We're taking the kids to your mother's place. Then you'll figure out your next steps." She tries to fight me, tears streaming, hair plastered to her face. No, no, we can't just leave him here. I release her shoulders, step away. My voice is quieter than ever. Call an ambulance if you want. But once they see he's dead, do you think you'll be able to hide your affair? Do you think they won't question you? She collapses to her knees, sobbing into her hands. I stand there, looking down at her, my fists still trembling. I hate that I feel no pity, only that numbness. She begs me to understand, tries to explain how lonely she felt, how I was always working, how she never wanted it to go this far. She says I pushed her away. She's crying, repeating, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. My chest tightens. A wave of anger surges, but it's hollow now. I say nothing. I just watch her tears hit the carpet. Then I walk out into the living room, stare at Tony's still form one last time. I might have expected to feel triumphant, or at least something. But no, just emptiness. I gather the kids from school that afternoon, telling them we're going to visit Grandma. They're confused but excited. My wife trails behind me, hollow-eyed. She tries to hold their hands, forcing a shaky smile. We drive in silence most of the way. The kids start bickering in the back seat. I cut them off with a sharp, quiet. They settle into hushed confusion. When we arrive at my mother-in-law's, I walk the kids up the steps. She greets us, surprised, and tries to engage in polite conversation. I tell her, the kids will stay with you a while. We need space. My mother-in-law eyes me, senses something is off, but she doesn't ask many questions. She loves her daughter, yet she's always had a certain wary respect for me. My wife weeps quietly in the corner while the kids run into the living room. I hand my mother-in-law a small envelope with some cash, stare at the floor. Just take care of them for a bit. She nods, mystified. Then I leave without another word. My wife tries to follow me, but I point toward the house. Stay. I'll come back later. I don't even give her a chance to answer. Driving away, I realize I'm not sure where I'm going. The reality of what I've done hovers in my mind. Something about it feels like I'm in a dream, or maybe a nightmare. I half expect to wake up, but I don't. The sun's setting. My phone's buzzing, calls from my wife, from an unknown number, from the office. I ignore them. I keep driving. Eventually, I pull over to a rest stop on the outskirts of the city. My reflection in the rearview mirror looks older than I remember. Eyes bloodshot, hair disheveled, a faint line of stubble along my jaw that I hadn't noticed. I let out a ragged breath. The guilt is twisting inside me now, though I'm not sure it's the guilt of murder, or the guilt that I let everything degrade to this point. Bobo is at home, probably barking at a silent house. The image churns my stomach. I almost want to laugh at how insane this is. My phone rings again. I pick it up, see her number, but I don't answer. Then I throw the phone onto the passenger seat. Let it ring until it stops. Hours go by. I watch the sky turn dark, the neon glow from the highway lights flickering. Memories flash in my head. That first date with her. How radiant she was in her new dress. Our wedding day. The births of our children, me crying with joy. Our endless nights of quiet bliss. The day I decided to get a vasectomy, so she wouldn't have to worry about birth control. We joked about it. Everything so calm, so safe. And now look at me. I drive back into the city, stopping at the house. I don't know what I'll find. Cops. An ambulance. A crowd? But there's no one. The porch light is off. I step inside. The living room is dimly lit by the glow from a single lamp. Tony's body is gone. My first thought is that my wife, or someone, must have come back for it. I stand there, stunned. The carpet's stained with a dark patch. The coffee table is overturned. I'm too numb to be surprised. I head to the bedroom, flick on the light. The bed is unmade, the sheets rumpled, pillows strewn about. The faint smell of sex and soap still lingers. A wave of nausea grits me. I hurry to the bathroom, nearly retch. When I come out, I see it, that crumpled condom wrapper I found months ago. It sits on my nightstand, as if someone placed it there deliberately, like a cruel calling card. My stomach clenches. Where did she take the body? A cold, rational part of me wonders. Then I realize I'm in uncharted territory. I've stepped beyond normal life into something monstrous. I slump onto the bed. My mind is swirling. Maybe she's disposing of the evidence to protect me, or to protect herself. Maybe she's called some friend. Maybe the cops will bang on the door any minute. I don't know what to do. A few days pass, in a blur. I try to act normal, going to work, giving instructions to my team. My wife is absent from the house. The kids are at her mother's. No one calls me about Tony. The news doesn't mention a body found anywhere. My phone remains silent except for the occasional business call. I start to think I'm in a bizarre, suspended reality. Then one morning, she shows up at the house, letting herself in with her key. I'm sitting at the kitchen table, staring at a cold cup of coffee. She looks terrible. Dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back in a messy bun, cheeks hollow. She doesn't speak for a long time. Finally, she sets down a small envelope on the table. "I did what had to be done," she says, voice shaking. I got help. He's gone. Don't ask me how." A tear slips down her cheek. She looks exhausted, spent, like she's aged 10 years. I just nod, not trusting myself to speak. She stands there, arms wrapped around herself, as if she's trying to hold her body together. "The kids are safe," she continues. "They don't suspect anything. Mom wants to know what's happening. But I can't tell her." I swallow. My tongue feels like sandpaper. "Why did you do all that?" I finally manage. Her lips tremble. "I made a mistake. A terrible mistake. But I didn't want you to go to prison for it." She looks away. I can't lose you. They need their father." A laugh, bitter and raw, escapes me. "You should have thought of that before you brought him into our bed." She flinches. Her voice cracks. "I'm sorry." I shake my head. A strange emptiness where anger used to be. "The damage is done," I say quietly. We stand there. Silence fills the house. Eventually, she turns to go. "I'll stay at my mom's for now," she whispers. She hesitates, looking at me with haunted eyes, like she wants me to say something that will fix all of this. I stay silent. She nods once, shoulders sag, and leaves. In the days that follow, I move through life like a ghost. The guilt gnaws at me, but I'm not sure if I feel more guilty about killing Tony or about still craving some twisted sense of satisfaction that he's not around to touch her. That black humor rears its head. He won't be needing any more condoms. I'm disgusted with myself for even thinking that. I visit the kids at their grandmother's. I try to smile for them, check their homework, talk about school. They cling to me, sense something's off. They ask when mommy is coming back, and I lie soon. My mother-in-law eyes me with suspicion, but she doesn't push me. Nights are the worst. The house is empty except for Bobo, who sometimes trots down the hallway sniffing, maybe searching for Tony's scent. Or maybe I'm just imagining that. I can't sleep in the bed, so I lie on the couch, drifting in and out of nightmares. Usually I dream of Tony's face, contorted in shock as my fist connects. Then I wake up sweating, my heart pounding. One evening, I stand in front of the bathroom mirror, gazing at my reflection. My hair's streaked with silver at the temples, lines etched around my eyes. I look older, harder. My father's face stares back at me. He always used to say, "A real man doesn't whine. He acts." Well, I sure acted. And now, I think of her again, wonder where she sleeps, whether she curls into a fetal ball, crying. Part of me is bitter. Another part feels that old tenderness. But there's something else, an emptiness that might be cold relief. I realize with a hollow shock that I don't really want her back. Not like before. The betrayal etched itself too deeply into my bones. Weeks pass. I go to the office, finalize deals, become the unstoppable manager. People notice I'm quieter, more intense. Some joke that I'm on a mission. Others avoid me, sensing the quiet threat that simmers beneath. My boss is thrilled with my performance, hints that a bigger promotion might be on the horizon. I nod, smile politely. Inside, there's no joy. She and I talk only about the kids, practical matters. Once I catch her crying on the phone. She begs me to speak, to say how I feel, what I want. I can't. I'm frozen. Then she confesses she's had trouble sleeping, nightmares about Tony. She says she's destroyed with guilt, that she never meant for it to spiral this way. It's all my fault, she sobs. I ruined everything. My voice comes out flat. It's done. Then I hang up. For a while, I wonder if the police might knock on my door. But they never do. Months trickle by. Life goes on. Strangely, Bobo's the only constant presence in the house, and he seems as unsettled as I am. Sometimes he runs to the front window, barking like he senses Tony's ghost. Other times, he whimpers at night, pressing against me for comfort. One day, my wife shows up with the kids, letting them run into my arms. She stands aside, looking tense. When they're busy rummaging through their rooms, she says, "I've been talking to a counselor." She suggests we figure out if we can salvage anything. She sounds fragile, like she's bracing for me to lash out. I stare at her. I don't speak. Then I glance at the kids in the hallway, giggling over their toys, oblivious. They need stability, I say quietly. That's all I know. She nods. Tears well in her eyes. Yes, I know. She rubs her arms, gaze flickering around as if the walls might jump out to accuse her. If we can't find a way, I'll do whatever makes sense for them. A hot wave of something, resentment, sorrow, washes over me. I don't know if we can fix this, I say, my throat tight. I see her lips part, but no words come. The tension is suffocating. That night, after the kids are asleep, she stands by the back door. I can see she wants to say something. Maybe apologize again. Maybe beg forgiveness. But I'm too far gone, numb to it all. I mutter, "Let's keep the peace for them." And I walk away. She sighs, shoulders drooping. We stay in separate rooms. From time to time, I catch myself in the mirror, recalling the final moment Tony's eyes lost their light. I feel that wave of panic and guilt, but also a sense of inevitability, as if that moment had been set in motion the day I found the condom wrapper. I wonder if I could have changed things by confronting her earlier, by going to counseling, by leaving her. But it's too late. Eventually, I decide to see a therapist too, in secret. I barely speak at first, but over the sessions, I mention the betrayal. I never mention Tony's death. I talk in vague terms. A friend who hurt me. The therapist nods, tries to unravel my anger, my sense of failure. She says, sometimes we blame ourselves even when we're not responsible, or we hold on to guilt because it's the only emotion we can handle. I leave, feeling no relief, but I keep going. Slowly, I talk more about my father, about being the provider, about how I gave everything to my family, but might have neglected the emotional side. My face feels hot when I admit that maybe I do carry some responsibility for the rift in my marriage. The therapist points out that I can still choose a path forward, that I can decide how I want to live from now on. And every day, I stare at my reflection, question the man I've become. Am I a hero for defending my marriage, for fighting for my children's future? Or am I a coward for not facing the situation sooner, for letting my rage take over, for refusing to see the cracks forming? That question eats at me. I find a strange comfort in the routine of work, my fortress of logic and order. I set goals, meet them, push my team. People admire my discipline, call me a born leader. They have no idea how hollow I feel at night. My wife remains in the house, in the guest bedroom, trying to mend herself. She offers small gestures, cooking my favorite meals or folding my laundry, but I remain distant. We're like polite strangers cohabiting for the sake of the kids. Sometimes I dream of Tony, but instead of that last moment, I see him smiling at me across the barbecue grill, handing me a beer. Or I see him flirting with her in the living room, and I'm helpless, pinned by an invisible force. I wake up gasping. Yet, in public, we continue the charade. The perfect suburban couple. The neighbors wave. We wave back. I post fewer pictures these days, though. The hashtags have dried up. I see the old photos. My wide smile, her glowing face, the kids laughing. It stings like salt on an open wound. 1 year after it all happened, one full cycle of seasons passing, I find myself alone in the garage, rummaging through old boxes. I'm looking for something, maybe closure, maybe just space. Instead, I discover an old photo album with pictures from our wedding and honeymoon. We're beaming in every shot, young and hopeful. I feel a crushing sadness for the man I used to be, the woman she used to be, the life we thought we'd share. It hits me that I can't keep living as a shell. If I stay locked in this bitterness, I'll poison everything around me, including my kids. My wife tries, in her own broken way, to make amends. Maybe that counts for something. Maybe not enough for us to rebuild a marriage, but enough to keep civility, enough to ensure the kids don't grow up suffocating under our silent hatred. Late that night, I finally speak to her. We sit in the living room, the kids asleep upstairs, Bobo curled on the rug. My voice is shaky, but steady enough. I can't promise we'll ever be the same. I'm still furious, hurt. She looks down, tears in her eyes. I know. I take a breath. But we have children to raise. We can at least treat each other with respect. She nods. Yes, she whispers, voice breaking. I want that. A long silence. Then I ask, do you think we can ever let go of what happened? She rubs her arms, eyes wet. I don't know. I want to try, but I can't erase the past. I nod, numb. Neither can I. I murmur. We don't hug. We don't cry on each other's shoulders. We just share that moment of painful honesty. We both know Tony's ghost will always linger between us, but maybe we can at least build a framework so our kids can have a stable life. Time moves forward. I do what men do, keep going, day by day. I wonder if I should turn myself in for what happened, but the thought of the kids losing their father stops me. She never speaks of Tony again. If she's tormented by nightmares, she hides it. We live in a fragile peace, each lost in our own regrets. On certain days, I think about the final question. Am I a hero or a coward? I killed a man with one punch. Maybe some men would cheer me for that, claim I defended my honor. But the truth is, I feel as if I failed. I didn't protect my marriage. I didn't fix anything. I just ended a life in a fit of rage. That's not heroism. That's weakness. But ironically, that weakness is all I have left. My memory of that single moment, a man's life snuffed out under my fist, keeps me awake sometimes, a reminder of how far I fell from the person I thought I was, a bitter lesson in the power of rage. In the end, maybe the real punishment is living with this knowledge forever. I stare at myself in the mirror again, late at night. I see a man older, colder, still wearing the ring on his finger. My wife is asleep in another room. The kids are safe in their beds. Bobo is curled at my feet, trusting me like I'm still that shining father figure. I wonder if the emptiness inside is my sentence. Maybe I deserve it. The reflection in the mirror just stares back, silent. And I realize, with a chill, that sometimes the strongest emotion you can feel is no emotion at all. That's the final punchline, I guess. A year ago, I would have bellowed, roared, done anything to hold on to my perfect life. Now I'm just calm, cold, indifferent, and that's probably more terrifying than any scream of rage could ever be.